I'll go into
I,
answering.
it's his favorite question.
Men don't have women that are friends that they're not attracted to. We don't do things out of just kindness.
Like going for the
Exactly.
kill. And if you're new here, what's up? I'm Natasha, founder of Adora, former single mom of 4, but now newly engaged, about to get married to my amazing guy.
And I'm Brian, coach, former bachelor, just here to give the healed and masculine perspective.
We want to help you win in the area of dating, marriage, relationships, and life. So if you're interested in learning more about feminine masculine energy in relationships, in dating and marriage, and with your hormones and everything else, then you're going to want to follow for more. Can I ask you a question? I think this will help a lot of people from your experience. What would you say to someone that is, because you were engaged to a great girl, you guys were together for 5 years, that's a long time, planned a wedding, paid for a wedding, but you still walked away from that. What would you say to someone that's in that situation where they're like not sure, is this my person, is this not my person, especially if they've invested so much into it? What would you say?
First, I would suggest that you get some type of outside voice. It could be therapy, counseling, just to bounce it off, because sometimes it can be challenging to just have a conversation with each other. You're going to make it work.
Yeah, especially when you've been together for so long.
Just talking to each other, you're going to make it work. If you come to that point in your relationship, having a therapist, counselor, whatever, kind of mediate a conversation, and then really talking about stuff that's on your heart that you may not have addressed before, because when you get to that point, there's some things that you may have held on to that you haven't talked about. So just really talking about how you're feeling from your heart, and then saying, okay, is this something that I can move forward with? Is this something I'm okay? Is this a non-negotiable? And then having the courage to step away if needed. You can go about it in any way you desire, but step away from that commitment that you've made until you're 100% sure. Because if you don't, what will happen, and I've seen this happen with different men. Thankfully, I wasn't in that situation. You'll see a wandering eye, the guy or girl won't be fully satisfied with that person. You're not, if it's anything that's like, you know what, this area right here, I'm not satisfied in, that won't go away. And you want to make sure that you're making a decision not only with your emotions, but really being logical. And you don't want to hurt each other as things go on. So making a decision hurts in the moment, but it helps in the long run. So just being willing to have someone come from the outside and assist, and then being willing to be true to what's on your heart. And if you have to step away, be okay with that and know that it'll hurt now, but it's the best decision for you and your future.
Absolutely. I mean, like, we wouldn't have been together.
Exactly.
I mean, that happened 5 years ago.
Yes.
What, because you're saying outside help
Yes.
to ask you those questions. Did somebody ask you certain questions that you felt like they were really clarifying for you? What were some of those clarifying questions? Or even one question?
Okay. Well, I won't say, I don't remember the question specifically, but I do remember me just opening up in areas that were closed. Like, we had been together for a while. We didn't address a lot of areas that I didn't know getting married.
What areas?
Like,
because this is probably good for people that are dating and wanting to get married, and maybe they're not thinking about talking about those areas. What areas do you think?
I mean, it was even areas like, okay, what do you want to live? Or do you want to have a 9 to 5 forever? Or do you want to go into business? What do you think about family potentially living in the house with us? Things like that that you don't think about, that once the person brings it up, then it's like, you know what? I want to do things a little differently. So it's like fundamental areas that the way we grew up, me growing up west side of Chicago,
like
in the neighborhood.
Cultural stuff.
Yeah, cultural stuff. That's so key. Being on the same page as far as work, family, where you want to live. One person can want to just stay in the country forever, and the other person could want to live the city life. Those things by itself aren't deal breakers. Fundamentally, we're in different places overall.
Yeah.
And we have love for each other, but this area right here could be a stumbling block, because right now, and maybe for the next 10 years, that may not change. So just understanding that this person may never change. You have hope that, okay, once we start living together and once we get married, they'll see things my way.
Right.
But what they really talk to us about, if this person never changes, are you okay with it?
That's a good question.
And that's right. And that's not
really
living,
really good question.
that's not living off the potential of that person,
Yeah.
but where they are now. And can you live with that?
Really
We
good.
decided not to get married, and we stayed together for another year. But at that point, it was like, okay, nothing had changed.
Right.
So that's when we made the ultimate decision to separate. But statement right there just stuck with me. just like, okay, if this person never changes, is this someone that you would enjoy life with?
Yeah.
And
That's a
both of us made
really
that
good
decision.
question.
That's what stood out. That's what I can remember. But it was a lot of that person just opening up my mind. I've never been in a relationship to that extent. A lot of it was, for the first 3-4 years, was surface.
Right.
A lot of surface stuff, didn't really address things in the moment. Like if we got upset with each other, we would talk about it, but it wouldn't be finalized. It'll be like we'll move on from it.
Yeah.
And then that stuff will come back up
Yeah.
over time, and then it builds up. And now you're 4 years in, and now you're frustrated in certain areas because they've never been dealt with.
Yeah, exactly. That's so good. That's so, so good. So I really hope people get something from that, because it's like, talk about the really important stuff that's important to you.
Yes.
If that person never changed, would you be okay spending the rest of your life with that person?
Yeah.
And then you can make a decision from there. And then don't be afraid to walk away if that isn't your person, even if you have invested everything, because you don't know what's on the other side. You could have your wife or your husband that you're actually supposed to be with on the other side. And I can say for sure, my relationship with you and like with each other, it's been so simple, so easy, because it's so aligned.
So, next question.
Is that the last question?
No. Is having friends of the opposite sex who are single when you are married okay? What if you get the vibe that it's not completely platonic?
Okay. Do you want to answer that question? Or you want me to answer it first?
I'll go into answering
It's his favorite question.
Exactly. Personally, having friends of the opposite sex isn't okay. Personally, for me, right? Like if they're your friend and they're friends with both of you all, eventually, that's okay. But it shouldn't be any special friendship with the opposite sex. I don't care if they're married, single, whatever the case is, because any friendship is intimacy with friendship. Right? You share things with friends, you grow close, you hang out with friends. Putting yourself in that situation is just not healthy for the relationship. And most men are territorial anyway. So even if the man doesn't say it, on the inside, he could be burning, like just doesn't feel right. So having a friend of the opposite sex that you're constantly in communication with, that wouldn't be good. Now, of course, we know most people before they get married have been single. So men. You know people of the opposite sex. You may even follow them on social media. They may know your family. But the nature of the relationship changes once you get into a relationship with your potential husband. So you want him to feel as comfortable as possible. Just have the conversation. How do you feel about this? Because if he's calling at certain times, if you have, you may go to lunch with him once a month because you're just a good friend, or you may call him your brother. But we know, and within ourselves, men don't have women that are friends that they're not attracted to. Right? It's just waiting.
I don't think women think that way.
Men are waiting for that moment. If you ever just reach out to them and tell them you're having issues, most men are like, okay, come over here, hang out. Like, I got you, don't worry about it. We don't do things out of just kindness. Right? We do things because we have a goal in mind. Right? So if just having that friend, it's like having somebody, if I relate it to sports, you got somebody in the on deck circle. Right? They're just waiting their turn. They'll wait for years. Men will wait for years, 20 years, 30 years for that moment of weakness, and then
they're going for the
exactly.
kill.
They take advantage of it. So we just want to protect the relationship. We come from a perspective, most men is like, I don't think it's healthy. I don't feel confident, not because of you, but because we know men. And if you give that man a chance, and that man has just as much privilege as you have, then it doesn't feel like this is special, because he's, he can call you, or you're doing stuff for each other. He's thinking about you, so he just got you a gift. None of that is okay, and especially if you're married.
Especially
if you're married, having friends of the opposite sex, in my opinion, and a lot of guys that I talk to opinion, is a no-no. Your marriage is sacred. What is this friend bringing to me that my husband doesn't? Because he's feeling some void. You don't want him to feel any void, right? If you see him out, he and his fiance or girl doing something, and they invite you over on Independence Day or for Christmas or something, maybe we can all get together once or twice a year. But the constant conversation, no, you don't want it, because it can penetrate your marriage, and the man won't feel comfortable. I don't care what he says, he won't feel comfortable. So never should having friends of the opposite sex who are single, or period, when you're married. Now, if you're single and not married, you're not in a
Yeah.
A real relationship, you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want, but understand sometimes it's harder to stop. So if you're looking to be a wife, it's good to be the wife before you become a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do things that you have to stop once you get into a relationship. And it's the same for men. Men can't be around having sex with all different type of women, and then one day it's like, okay, I'm ready, and expect everything to shut down.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just embodying being a wife before you become it, and for men being the husband. So I'll let you
Yeah.
answer that, and then we'll go into the second part.
Yeah, I have to agree. And it's one of those things, I mean, it comes with the territory. You want a husband that is protective of your relationship in a healthy way, meaning that he's not out talking to a bunch of girls and he's not, scrolling on social
Yeah.
media, DMing with girls, liking girls'
Right.
photos. He's obviously going to want the same thing. It comes with that territory. So I think sometimes women don't think it's a big deal if it's like their guy friends, but it's you never want him to feel disrespected.
Yes.
in any way, and it's not about being right, it's
Mm-hmm.
about you guys having a great relationship
Mm-hmm.
together. And so if that's important for him, if that's important for her, then just respect that, because then you just know that you guys have each other's back, and it doesn't matter. You don't want to give space for other people to penetrate your couple bubble.
That's so true.
Right? And it could seem very innocent. Maybe the other people don't have any ill intentions. Maybe you don't have any ill intentions, but you don't want to open that door.
No, you made it so simple.
Yeah.
I'm the one that went on with this one
Yeah.
because of the passion behind it. But no,
No, that's good. But I
you
mean,
said it so
I
well.
wanted a husband like that,
Yeah.
so I'm not complaining. I would rather have a husband like this that cares about
Yes.
protecting us than having a husband that doesn't care. Well, he wouldn't be my husband if he didn't
Of
care,
course.
but being with a guy that did not care. Like, yeah, do
No.
whatever you want. If he's saying like do whatever you want,
He's
trust me,
doing
babe,
whatever
he's
he
doing
wants.
whatever he wants to.
So true. Second part of it.
Yeah.
What if you get the vibe that it is
Well,
not
I feel like
completely platonic?
well,
Well,
I mean, you shouldn't even be at that point.
exactly.
So if they have a friend and you're getting the vibe that it's not really platonic, then
Right.
you have to have a serious conversation. But actually, first you need to check yourself
Yes.
and be like, are you with the right person that would even entertain that?
Mm.
That would be my starting point,
Yeah.
is checking myself. Like, why am I with someone that is
Right.
even entertaining this? And then,
And
yeah,
I mean, if you're in a relationship and you have a guy friend now, and you're not just starting it, so you're at that point and you're feeling that the vibes are kind of different. Well, like we just said, the vibe they are right. The vibes are different because never in human mankind has a man taking time to build a relationship that's not beneficial for him. Right? Even when we build relationships with men, it's something that we get out of it. It could be the just someone that we can just be cool with and hang out, play ball with, work out with. It's going to be more to it because the guy wants more. So the best thing to do, not to have a conversation with a guy, have a conversation with your significant other, and then let the other guy, you have to cut it off. You can't ease out of it, and maybe we used to hang out once a month, now to be once every 3 months. No, you have to cut it off cold turkey, that relationship, in a nice way. You can just let them know, I'm focused on this relationship, nothing against you, but we can't talk anymore on that level. If I see you out, hey, but right now and moving forward, the nature of our relationship has changed because it's not fair to the person that I'm with, or however you want to
yeah,
put it.
yeah.
But it's cutting it off right away instead of dragging it out if you're in that situation. Two more questions. What do I do to bring my partner up with me?
Oh, that's a good question. So you're leveling up, and maybe your partner isn't leveling up. What do you do in that situation?
You want to
Okay,
go
well,
ahead?
I'll go from the woman's
Yes.
perspective. You never, ever, ever tell a man what to do. Okay, so you're gonna hear me repeat that,
Yes.
because the masculine will resist that.
Mhm.
Then because you're coming at him with your masculine energy. It's just not gonna work. He's going to resist that, and it'll probably be subconscious, and it'll probably, even if you know it's right, even if he knows it's good for him, he will still resist it. Okay.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is, and this is what I coach my girls on too, no matter what their marriage situation, what's going on in the marriage, take all that energy and put it back on you, babe, and work on you. And this is what's going to happen. You start working on you, everyone around you is mirroring you. Work on you, fall in love with you, and fall in love with your life. Have fun, keep growing. And one of two things is going to happen. One, he's going to be inspired, especially if you're improving. Like, you're happier, you're looking good, You're just a happier person to be around. You're not as triggered all the time. You're in your worthiness, but you're also just in your fun and your pleasure
Mm.
and your healing, and you're not making it about other people. You're just doing it with, like, you're owning it. Naturally, it's going to inspire the
Yes.
people around you. And
Yes.
naturally, he, without even saying anything to him, he's going to be like listening to some of the stuff that you're listening to, or he's going to be looking at
Yes.
audiobooks that he wants to listen to that he resonates with. Or maybe you're at the gym and maybe he's like, you know what, I want to start working out too.
Exactly.
And then you are so appreciative, you are so encouraging, you are so fun to be around. When you are fun and appreciative and just so grateful and a pleasure to be around, his energy is going to come
Yes.
towards you. You don't have to tell him to do
Yes.
anything. Or if he is super insecure and just not in a healthy place, he is probably not your person and he's going to fall away. You know, women, we love hard, right? Like, especially if it's your husband, let God deal with him. You focus on you, pray for him, hold the mental image of how God sees him. So when you're looking at him, if you know he's not in his full potential, maybe he's a little bit lost right now. He's not in a great place right now. Maybe he's not taking care of his health right now. That can be really hard for us
Yes.
women sometimes. But what you got to do is you're holding the image of, you see him the way God sees him. You see him at his potential. You see him in his divine masculine provider,
Mm-hmm.
amazing energy, the leader that you just know that he is deep down inside. You're scripting on it. You're doing some of the techniques that I teach in my program and my membership, but you are just focused on you becoming
Mm.
that person. And I would say almost all the time, this is what happens. And especially when you surrender him to God and let God deal with him, God will work on him, and things, he will start to change. It might not look like it at the beginning. That's why you do not want to be criticizing him. You want to stay encouraged and stay appreciating him,
Mm-hmm.
but do not try to control him. Don't belittle him. Don't disrespect him. Men are not motivated by that. Okay. So they are motivated when you're in your juicy pleasure feminine energy, right? When you're in your worthiness, you're leveling up, you're having so much fun. The divine masculine energy cannot help but come towards you. Okay. And then as he comes towards you, you're so encouraging and you're so appreciative towards him. And you're holding that image of who he actually is, who God has called him to be. And that's what's going to happen. If he's not your person, then he will fall away. Okay. So that's my perspective. What do you
No,
think,
that's
babe?
good. Just even to that point, if you're dating, that's a different situation than if you're
Yeah.
married. So if
Yeah,
you're
totally.
dating, you just make a decision. Is this someone that you really want to invest in?
Totally. Yeah.
And weigh the pros and the cons in it. All right, that's simple with that. Now, if you're married in a situation and you're fighting for your marriage and you want to be with that person, men by nature, right, are competitive. So we don't want to compete with you. But if we see you doing well, it's kind of like when I'm running, if I'm running outside, I
Mm-hmm.
see somebody in front of me, I'm chasing them and they don't even know it, right? I'm sure other
That
people do that as
it's that
well.
sperm energy,
Yes,
hustling,
I'm chasing.
competing.
I'm gonna catch you. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're married and you have a covenant with each other, you see her losing weight, you're gonna be motivated. We may not say anything, right? We may not say like, "Man, I need to lose weight too," but we'll look and we'll start doing things subconsciously to make sure we're moving kind of in unison, right?
Yeah.
We're moving together, even though we're always on different levels. Like I can be, I can run 4 businesses and you open a new business. If I'm in the right place, that'll motivate me to tighten up with my businesses, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
we're watching, we're seeing, we want to see how we can help you, but we're always looking to go to the next level. So as you do those things, that's when you encourage and you pray. Don't pray in front of them. Don't say let's pray about this. Just pray on your own in your
Yes.
secret time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And allow him to come to you because
Mm-hmm.
what'll happen is he'll come to you, he'll start sharing like what he's thinking, what's going on with him, and
Mm-hmm.
then that'll open up the door for you to help him
Mm-hmm.
trust that God is moving in his life
Mm-hmm.
and that he's making those adjustments. It may not happen as quickly as it happened for you, but he may just start signing up for classes. He may be changing fields
Mm-hmm.
out of it. So much can come out of it. It's just trusting that your prayers are changing things. But we're all growing at our own pace And the prayer is that he grows into who God designed him to be. It may look like leveling up, it may not, but the big picture, he's God is putting him in a position to be able to take care of you and the family, even to a higher level, I believe.
Oh, definitely. Men want to keep you happy.
Yes.
They like at their core, especially if you're a happy person and you're their biggest support and inspiration. They want to do stuff to make you happy. They
Yes.
may or may not say that, but they do. They're thinking about it, right? So just keep working on you, babe, and
Yes.
that's going to inspire him. Now, yeah, like what you said, if he is not, like if you're growing, especially if you're dating,
Yes.
and you're growing and he is just like super stagnant, go back to the things that I teach you girls in the membership, right? Where it's, do you know what you actually want? Do you have clarity in what you actually want in a husband?
Yes.
Because, babe, as you heal, I promise you, what you want in a husband is going to change. And the type of men you're going to attract is going to change big time. Okay, that's why it's so, so important that this is all about you and really not about him at all. Last question?
Definitely. Last question. So, how do you acknowledge the deep desire of getting married when you're single? How do you not let the desire overtake your thoughts and mind? Plus, what are practical examples to help with that?
Oh, that's such a good question. So basically, what do you do when you really want to get married and you're single, like super single? What do you do in that time? And I know that, I don't know how men are, but for women, you can, if you're really focused on getting married or even like having a baby or something like that, you can have that sense of urgency, right? So this is exactly what you do with that energy, ladies, because it's just energy. Okay. Now, first you got to check with yourself. Like, did you just get out of a relationship, and do you just have a bunch of needy rebound energy that you're like, I'm not used to not having a man in my life, and I just want to date somebody? Is it like that, or is it like, where's that urgency coming from? Is it you think you're getting older and like you need to get married and people are putting pressure on you and you want to have babies? Is it that? But whatever it is, you want to get out of that urgency energy. And because that's a lack energy, and you'll never, ever, ever attract your husband, a high quality divine masculine man, if you're in the energy of neediness, in the energy of lack, pick me energy, anything like that. It's going to subconsciously repel a healthy masculine man. Okay. So what you do with that energy, because it's just energy, is you take that energy and you start obsessing about your personal development. You start obsessing about something else that is really healthy, that's going to also move you in that direction. So that's why my programs are so freaking amazing, because a lot of women like that. I'm like, okay, babe, instead of wasting all your time on dating apps right now, we need to get you out of that energy. You take all that energy and you start obsessing about something that's actually healthy, like your inner healing, and you're getting your hormones on point. You're leveling up in your body and your energy, and you're just loving your life. The men are going to come running. So once you've spent maybe a month or two or a couple of months or however long you need getting yourself into a healthy place first, then you start dating with strategy. You date for marriage, which is what I teach. You're not just randomly dating people online. Like, you are dating with the energy of, you're dating with purpose, you're dating with clarity, and you're dating and you're embodying the energy of being a match for your husband, which is something that you want. Completely different.
Nice. I know I actually had this conversation with a couple guys recently.
Oh, okay.
And the first thing, definitely just making sure as a provider you have things in order, right? As far as with work, as far as credit, as far as just lining things up and making sure that's in order. And then being open to going into new environments, right? A lot of times we're in the same environment over and over, and we're complaining like it's, man, I'm running into the same type of women. Well, the same type of people hang in the same type of places, right? So if you're looking for somebody who's working out, probably go to the gym, right? So, like, really being open to, maybe I can't just go to the local restaurant. Go downtown to a restaurant. Go to an area where people are doing things intentionally, like right? Different neighborhoods. Yeah, different neighborhoods, family neighborhoods, right? And just hang out. Go to family type of churches or whatever you do. Just change your environment, because that small change can be everything, and then you'll naturally attract that person. You can't attract something that's not there. You'll never find the kind you want. It's always women that want to get married everywhere, right? But you have your list and your qualities that you're looking for. And it's really getting in those environments and just making sure you're a husband
Yeah.
before you get in those environments, right?
So good.
Yes, instead of going into it like I just want to see what's here.
Yeah.
Go into it intentional and just being ready, and she'll pop out,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's just about, again, it's similar. It's just about you internally making a decision, and you'll see things differently once you decide this is what you want.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what happened with us,
Yeah,
right? We both put ourselves in different
that's
environments,
true.
but we're both embodying the energy
That's so
of
true.
we're ready to get married
That's so true. So,
type of thing. So good. Anything
yes.
else, babe? Or
No,
is
I
that
mean,
it?
that's definitely enjoyed it. Even having these answers now, of course, we're walking in it, but it's so key for people as they're transitioning into the next phase, or just trying to make small changes to get that person that they desire, or get in that career that they desire. So, exciting.
So I deeply, deeply, deeply understand what it takes for a woman to heal and really start embodying that energy that becomes so magnetic, so potent, that all your desires start coming towards you in a healthy way. And that's what I want to help you do. So we have a 30-day challenge. We'll leave the link below. You can come and you're going to learn from me. You get to learn from Brian, who we're actually living this out. We're a blended family and we're living our best life right now. We want to help you do that.
Even as you're getting your body and everything together, for most women, the ultimate goal is to get in a healthy relationship.
Yes, that's what we care about.
Yes, so really just helping from that angle and being able to bring that masculine energy to understand how we think.
Yes. And the biggest thing that we want you guys to know, whoever's watching this, does not matter if you've been single your whole life, you've been divorced 5 times, you've gone through a loss like me, you're a single mom, whatever it is, or maybe you're 20 and we want to help you prevent some of the stuff that we've had to go through. But you're never too far gone, and things can change instantly, but you have to make that decision right now. You have to start embodying that right now. You're not waiting for him. It's you, babe. Okay? So that's what I want you to leave with. And yeah, we love you.